Hello, friends. It's me again, Joseph, your host, and welcome back to our Saint Stories for Kids. Today, we're journeying back in time to meet a very wise and gentle saint named Paulinus of Aquileia, where his feast day is on January 11th. Saint Paulinus was a bishop, a teacher, and a peacemaker who showed everyone that using our minds and our hearts for God can make a huge difference in the world. He lived a long, long time ago, during a period when the church was growing and facing some tricky questions. He worked with other Christian leaders to teach the true faith and help people follow Jesus with love and understanding. His story teaches us that you don't have to be loud or famous to be a great servant of God. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is teach patiently, guide others kindly, and love the truth. Are you ready to learn about this amazing saint? Let's begin. Saint Paulinus of Aquileia is a much-loved figure from the early days of the Church. He lived over 1,200 years ago, mostly in the northern part of what we now call Italy. His home city Aquileia was a very important place back then, kind of like a busy crossroads where many people traveled. Paulinus is remembered as a good bishop, a strong teacher, and a true friend to people who were poor or in need. Not a lot is known about his early life, but historians believe he was born around the year 726 in a region called Friuli. It was a beautiful place with farms, forests, and small towns. Paulinus grew up during a time of change and sometimes conflict. Even from a young age, he showed a great love for learning and for God. He studied very hard, learning languages like Latin and becoming an expert in the Bible. He had a special gift for explaining the church's teachings in ways that were easy to understand, because he was so smart and wise. He soon started working with leaders in the church. By the time he was chosen to be a bishop, he was already known as someone who stood up for the true faith. Around the year 787, Paulinus became the Bishop of Aquileia. Being a bishop is a big responsibility, like being a shepherd for God's people. And in his time, it was a very difficult job. One of the biggest challenges was a wrong teaching called Arianism. This was an idea that said Jesus wasn't truly God. Saint Paulinus worked very hard to correct this. He taught people clearly that Jesus is both true God and true man, just as the church has always believed. He also became a good friend and advisor to a very powerful ruler, King Charlemagne. The king trusted Paulinus and often asked for his advice on how to keep the church strong and faithful. Because of this friendship, Paulinus played a big role in important church meetings, called councils. For example, he went to a big meeting called the Synod of Frankfurt. There, he helped defend the faith against another wrong idea called adoptionism, which claimed that Jesus wasn't God's son from the very beginning. Through all of this, Paulinus wasn't seeking power for himself. He just wanted to serve Jesus and help the people he was responsible for. His calm and steady leadership brought peace and truth to many places. But Saint Paulinus wasn't just a bishop and a leader. He was also a talented writer and teacher. He wrote beautiful hymns that people sang in church. These songs weren't just pretty music. They were a simple and powerful way to teach the faith. Imagine learning about God's love by singing a catchy tune. That's what his hymns did. He also wrote many letters to other bishops and leaders, giving them advice on how to stay faithful and strong. His letters often talked about loving Jesus, believing the truth, and taking care of the poor. He helped organize church councils where he would patiently explain the faith to other bishops. He had a gift for correcting wrong ideas without being harsh or unkind. His writings show us that he had a deep love for both the truth and for people. He wanted everyone, from the most educated scholar to the simplest farmer, to know Jesus clearly. He did all this not to become famous, but by quietly and faithfully serving God. Saint Paulinus died around the year 802-4. His incredible faith and tireless work, the church has always honored him as a saint. His memory is especially celebrated in northern Italy, where some churches are named after him. He isn't the official patron saint of any specific group, but many people, especially bishops, teachers, and writers, look to him as a guide. His life is a wonderful reminder that we don't have to be famous or do big, flashy things to serve God well. We just need to be faithful right where we are, using the gifts God has given us. Let's think about what Saint Paulinus can teach us today. He lived in a time of confusion when some people were teaching things that weren't true. But he didn't get angry or discouraged. he spoke the truth with a calm voice and a steady heart. He reminds us that when things are confusing, we should stay close to Jesus. It can be easy to just go with the flow or stay quiet when we hear something that isn't right. But Paulinus chose to speak up with love and clarity. His courage and peace are great examples for us. We might not be bishops leading a whole city, but we all have chances to share the truth with others and speak kindly, help a friend understand something about our faith, or simply live our lives in a way that shows our love for God. Like Saint Paulinus, we can serve God quietly but with great love. So, let's ask ourselves a few questions. When have I had a chance to speak the truth with love? How can I use the gifts God has given me to help others? And what helps me stay strong in my faith, especially when things around me feel confusing? Saint Paulinus showed us that a life of faith is a life of strength. He answered God's call with a clear mind and a steady heart. He didn't look for fame. He just focused on what was true and right. His story reminds us that we can all serve God right where we are. We're all called to be strong, to teach others with kindness, and to live the truth with love. The life of Saint Paulinus of Aquileia continues to shine as an example of steady faith, simple teaching, and quiet courage. Thank you so much for joining me today to learn about this wonderful saint. I hope his story inspires you to use your own gifts to share God's love with the world. Don't forget to like and share this video, and subscribe for more saint stories for kids. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and healthy as usual. We'll see you next time, and God bless you always.